Hey guys, if you haven't already, make sure to check out my merch store. We have shirts, sweatshirts, stickers, and a really awesome mug. The link is in the description down below. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. On today's video, I'm going to show you how I made this adorable homemade squishy of a gray cat wearing a witch's hat. Since it's the month of October, I wanted to make something related to Halloween and I thought cute gray cat, witch's hat, perfect combination. Let's do this. Now, if you're interested in watching more Halloween squishy videos, please go ahead and check out Chelsea DIY's channel. She has an ongoing Halloween series and it's so good, you guys. She is one of my favorite channels to watch, so I highly recommend her channel. But anywho, let's go ahead and begin with our DIY. So, for my squishy, I decided to use this cat as a reference as I really liked the body shape that it had. So I went ahead and grabbed a big block of memory foam from an old pillow that I got at Target. I've actually been using the same pillow for all of my squishies because, it's not a pillow anymore because it has a bunch of holes in it now. So yeah, anyways, I drew a big circle in the middle and then one more to the side so I could make it 3D. And then I just started cutting away all the edges and all around so I could try to make it as smooth as possible. Once I had the shape that I wanted, I then went ahead and drew the body in another block of memory foam, and I also went ahead and trimmed that one as well until I was happy with the shape. Now with both pieces done, I went ahead and glued them together using fabric glue and then used a rubber band to hold them in place. Once that was dry, we now had a tooth. No? Okay. Anywho, once that was dry, I then drew a tail on another piece of memory foam and shaped it so it would fit the rest of the body. I also drew an ear and cut it into shape and made adjustments here and there to make sure that it would fit the head. Now it was time to work on the witch's hat. Now this one was a lot trickier than I thought. I originally had made a 2D version of the hat and then realized it would look weird on my squishy as the head was 1, way too big for it, and 2, 3D. So I then decided to cut a big circle for the bottom of the hat and then just place my original 2D design on top of it and just trimmed it on the bottom so it would fit the new hat design. With the general hat shape done, I then cut a small ball that I would later paint orange to represent a Halloween pumpkin, and I also went ahead and cut 2 straps of memory foam to make a belt for the hat. Once I had all my pieces in place, I went ahead and glued them all together using fabric glue for the bigger pieces and hot glue for the smaller pieces. You can use whichever type of glue you like. I just prefer using hot glue for the smaller pieces as I find it more difficult for those ones to stay in place with the rubber bands. So using hot glue and holding it for a couple of seconds is a lot easier for me, and that's basically the reason why sometimes I choose to use hot glue over fabric glue. But again, you can use whichever type of glue you like for your squishies. With the hat done, I then went ahead and traced some paws for my cat using the original cat image as a reference. And once those were done, I went ahead and glued those in place as well as the tail and the ear. Now it was time for the hat to be glued in place. I went ahead and made some adjustments to the bottom of it so it would fit the shape of the head a little bit better. And once both pieces finally clicked in place, I went ahead and glued them using fabric glue. Once the glue was dry, I then covered my entire squishy with 3 coats of white puffy paint. I did the head and the hat first, and then the rest of the body. With the puffy paint dry, it was finally time to start decorating. For the base color of the cat, I used PVA glue, white and black soft fabric paint, and white and black puffy paint. I originally wanted to make a black cat, but I also wanted it to be a pastel black, which, as we all know, doesn't exist. So instead of having a black cat, I made a gray cat. A super cute and adorable Halloween gray cat. I did 3 coats of gray all around the body of the cat, and once that was dry, I moved on to the hat. Now for the hat, I used purple and white soft fabric paint, PVA glue, and white puffy paint. I only did 2 coats of purple as I was going to save the last coat for the sprinkles, and I also made sure not to paint the pumpkin because that was gonna get painted later on. With the hat dry, I then painted the belt with a darker shade of purple. I used the same exact mix from before, but just added a little bit of black fabric paint to make it darker. Once all of that was dry, I went ahead and painted the pumpkin using orange soft fabric paint and white puffy paint. I also painted the inside of the ear using pink and white soft fabric paint, PVA glue, and white puffy paint, and I did 3 coats of orange and 2 coats of pink. With all of that done, it was time to draw the face. I used white puffy paint and a dotting tool to draw the eyes, the mouth, and the whiskers. And for the cheeks, I used my previous pink mix and just drew them in using the same exact dotting tool. Now, my friends, it was time to add the sprinkles. I added my last layer of purple to the hat as I wanted to have a sticky surface for the sprinkles. As I've mentioned before, in case you're interested in doing polymer clay sprinkles, I highly recommend watching Mariah Elizabeth's tutorial, as that's the one that I used for mine. She also does a lot of squishy makeover videos as well, so please go ahead and check her out. There will be a link to her channel in the description down below. To make sure that the sprinkles would stay in place, once the paint had dried, I went ahead and added a coat of Mod Podge with a matte finish. Once everything was dry, I took a needle and poked holes into the squishy to allow the air to go in and out. As I used a lot of coats on my squishy, I had to poke a lot of holes as well. Now, you can add as many or as little as you need. It just depends on your preference on how slow rising you want your squishy to be. But with all of that done, my Halloween squishy was finally complete. As you can see, it's very soft and still very slow rising. I absolutely love the way that it turned out, especially the kawaii face. I originally was going to add a nose to it, but with the way that I drew the mouth, I'm like, nah, it doesn't need it. It looks perfect the way it is. But, you know, if you're making this squishy yourself, you can add a nose or you can just leave it as it is. It's completely up to you. But anywho, let me know what you guys think about this squishy, and thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!